Oh no, I mean he's not coming, but I was just gonna call him more names.
Oh,
So
okay. I'm
we got a
sorry.
recording, and it looks like we're live. no,
Are you sure you're ready for it?
no, I'm not. Are
Well,
you tired of being awesome alone? Well, I'm just tired, except for us at 3:15. So we're gonna do stuff about panels, and it's gonna be awesome. Suck it up, Buttercup.
that would be great. Can I have music?
How do you not have music?
I Oh, there. I finally hear it. It was playing. I
Okay,
did not.
now you're. What the heck happened? Hold on.
Okay,
I
this is
lost
what happened.
everything.
Oh, Charles is in charge. This is why it happens.
Why have I lost everything? Okay, there it is. All right. Did you not have music? What?
I had no music. I'm
Tyra,
sorry.
I will turn this podcast around and we're going home if you don't stop messing around in this car. You sit there like a good girl.
Oh,
So you
that's
literally
never
didn't
gonna
have
happen.
music. All right, hold on.
No, sir. I just had you yelling, which is always cathartic, but not nearly as Well, yes, it is. It's just as entertaining.
Can you hear yourself back?
Oh, I can. That's not
See,
good.
it's on the right. My audio input right there. And I'm going to hit the button. We're looking at it.
Oh, I heard
Okay.
music.
Okay, so it's just talk whatever this thing is. I'll do it again.
Hi, everybody. My name
We're-
is Tara Burton, and I'm here to go, hey, Charles, take two.
We're not stopping at McDonald's though, I'll tell you that much.
No, Starbucks.
Are you tired of being awesome alone? Or so are we. So we desperately need that Taco Bell thing, and we're gonna do stuff about panels. Let's go whatever. Let's go Swifties.
Yes.
I'm dizzy after that one. Oh my God! Look who's in the chat.
Who's in the chat?
Valencia, dead
my
to
gosh.
us burns. I tell you what.
Valencia, I have worried that you were. I have worried about you, woman.
Yes, we actually reached out to Handy Manny. Not Handy Manny. That's a Disney thing. Manny Faces to make sure that you were okay.
Well, we get Valencia, but we're losing Earth Station. Boo. They're going for a pre-con meeting. Boo. I miss you. I can't wait for Dragon Con.
I think maybe it's like a Tyler Durden thing where they're the same person.
Maybe that's it.
So we're
You
just
didn't
getting
tell us.
Valencia's lovely personality instead of Boo's scary personality because she's horror. That's Boo.
Well,
Yeah.
that didn't work as well as you thought.
Look,
it would, did
people,
it?
3:15. I got up this morning and haven't taken a nap yet, so it's good to
No
go.
naps.
No naps. So
No
anyway,
naps.
it's gonna be a little chaotic. There's gonna be some real rough waves to surf today, but Tyra is gonna. We planned ahead and we planned the
did.
show where we're both sane and could focus. So,
Well, that's not true. I was really, really tired.
and I was sane and I was focused. I might not have been sane, but we are going to talk about prepping for panels. I had
Can we just talk about how happy I am that Valencia's here?
I know it's really really cool. Speaking of cool, we are
Yes.
literally right around the corner from Dragon Con.
Yes.
So what, like 5 days, something like that?
Yes, and I've been putting together all of the very sparkly promo. That's all I'm gonna say. Very sparkly.
We're doing not good vampires this year.
What? What? Not good vampires? I'm
The
confused.
the sparkly vampires, whatever.
No,
that was.
it's a showgirl thing.
like
Don't ask.
okay.
Just it'll be fine.
And
Charles.
no, imaginary nomad, you don't get to walk in here and go, hi, friends, when your friend was late to get stuff in and you're pulling favors. But that's
just
not
sent you
what we call to
stuff.
talk about. Shelf watch. What's on my shelf? Phil, what's on your shelf, Tyra?
Freshman. That's what I have. I have freshmen. I haven't taught freshmen in over 2 decades, Charles.
Okay, because you're more of a high level.
Yeah, I teach seniors. I teach
Professor.
people getting to graduate. I teach jaded people who no longer read the syllabus. Freshmen read the syllabus and tell you what you didn't do right. It's awesome. So they've already caught that the rubric has too many points. They're lovely. I love them because I can't catch all those things. So the other thing on my self watch is the downstairs of our house is almost done. Like we are 5% from done, and I have managed to get rid of the furniture. It's being picked up while we're at DragonCon.
Okay, I have to address this real quick.
What's wrong?
He has a baby, dude. Is Phil's excuse. Guess what? I delivered my own child. Then an hour later, went and gave a speech at for promoting a con. So
Did you
just
really?
saying. Yeah, absolutely did.
You're lying to me.
The fourth child, Zoe, she came within like 2 hours. Delivered her. And we had a con that we were selling tickets for we had money on the line. So it was like, hung out for a good hour. It's the fourth kid. Erin was just good to hold her. She was fine. But yeah, I left there with my baby wrap on my arm and went and gave my speech. And it was like, they'll give us money because daddy's got to hustle. So.
Okay, well, I'm tipping my microphone stand over is what I'm doing, so that's not good. I don't know if I'd say you were a bad dad, but you're certainly a unique one.
I'm a hustler. I didn't throw her in the dumpster, Phil. Phil's
Charles.
a dumpster baby. He's a dumpster baby. He's a dumpster. You ban him. You want me to behave? I'm on the show. He's gonna go.
Jeez, Valencia, save me, help me.
Valencia's laughing her butt off.
I need more than thoughts and prayers right now.
I need to
people.
find her schedule because I don't.
So I would just like to say, Devosite. Did I say that right, Charles? You know how to say it. He has been awesome. He actually offered to help with the furniture, to help with the shelves. But after that furniture is gone, when we come back, it's going to be a busy September here. But I have faith that by October, Shelf Watch will mean something else.
Good.
And then I'm going to hide things on the shelf. But, well, it's okay that you're adopted, but that does not mean you're a dumpster baby.
Yes, it does. For
Charles.
Phil. You've met Phil. You've met Phil.
Phil is a lovely person, Charles.
He is a very lovely goblin.
See
I'm trying to pull up my show notes. You're letting them bait us. We're famous now. We have trolls in the chat room.
We have. I don't have controls. I have nothing.
Trolls. TROLLS.
Phil is
Otherwise
not a
known as
troll.
Phil. You've also met Phil. Stop lying.
You're lying to me.
Who's lying?
Post that, Charles. Hit that button for me. That last thing that Phil said. So everybody can see it. Lying right to my teeth, Tyra.
All right, look, we're gonna move on with the real show.
This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we can't. We don't want nice things, because then they get broken. We just want
nice
good,
things.
worn out couches. Ta-da! All right, what are we doing tonight?
We are. Let me find it. I actually have it. We are doing how to prepare for panels and other fairy tales.
Hosted by the regulars.
Because who forgot to post any promo about it? Did I mention that classes started yesterday? I have no brains. I am so sorry, everybody. Here we are. But obviously no promo works because I got Valencia.
That's how it works. They could just pay us $5 for it later. I'll be fine. All right, so we're going to talk about panels and getting prepped. And I talked a little bit about this last week on Wise and Nerdy with Bob and Phil. Bob Magoo and Phil Keating were both on. We were the Drunk Uncle
Bob
Trio.
Magoo.
Oh, and the reason we said you're a heel when you popped in, we had just literally finished talking about my style of doing panels. Got asked, should you prep for a panel? Do you need to know everything about it? Can you walk in blind? And we were just kind of spitballing as creators back and forth. And I talked about a story I'll share later here. And Phil pointed out that it's easy to be the heel, like in wrestling, and attack the crowd, or that's my sense of humor, right? I can find something.
H-E-E-L.
Yes, H-E-E-L. And then I was like, because we all know you and love you. Like, could you imagine Tyra Burton being a heel? I know she could, but she can't. And about 30 seconds later, you popped in. So then you got no context, Tyra the heel. And then, we moved on.
Oh, you see, I'm a healer usually, H-E-A-L. So I misunderstood.
Chaotic
The
good,
universe heard it wrong,
whatever.
and the healer popped in. Because yes, I can heal.
Uh,
And
Not
as
my
a side
broken
note,
heart.
Valencia, I can't wait to see you. Okay.
And it is extra chaos tonight, as I said earlier, just because I'm tired, man. So
Hey,
it's everything I got.
that was me yesterday. Yesterday I
Yeah.
was bone tired. Poor Charles he was like, Tyra, stop. Which is why we don't have promo.
Oh yeah, you kept working. It's like Tyra, stop. You need to go do rest.
Yeah.
Okay, go follow us on everything. We need 100 followers on
Oh my
Facebook
gosh.
to go live there.
Buy us friends so we don't have to. We need 100 people on Facebook. We're going to get 100 people next weekend. We've got
Yeah,
to.
so we can start streaming after the con there. As a reminder, you need to be on twitch.tv/beawesometogether. You need to be, if you're going to watch live, YouTube is Be Awesome Together. And we can't get on Facebook. Well, we're on Facebook. We can't do live on Facebook
Right.
because
We
of
don't have
the
100
followers.
followers.
And we're on, well, after the con, we'll be at 60 days from having created that account because we're taking this show on the road, baby. And it's
Right.
going to be on its own. So after Dragon Con, which is about 10 days away or less,
Shush.
it is, of course, during the con, you need to be on digital media, DC Digital Media and DC Digital Media 2 are the channels on Twitch that will be broadcasting live on. And you can see everything there. Then if you're going to catch us every week, make sure you're on those other channels, including patreon.com/be awesome
Together show.
I just lost everything.
He did. All his energy just plummeted. So people, we got to pump him up. We can do this. Phil, I need another snarky comment to get him back in the game.
No, I'm not even looking
Come
at
on,
chat.
Phil.
Do not. He'll start. He thinks he can call in. No. All right. Sponsor tonight, not Taco Bell, but God bless you. We could use some Taco Bell. I'll tell you that much. And hey, you know what would be a great sponsor? Taylor
Starbucks.
Swift.
Yes.
Starbucks would be great, but Taylor Swift.
Taylor's not going to sponsor us, but she should because I'm just saying, y'all wait for the dragon is here. Just wait. Those of you who are Swifties will get it, and nobody else will. And I don't care. It's still
right.
cute. Anyway, so Charles,
Yes, ma'am.
if we were going to take a guesstimate, how many
Yes.
panels do you think you've done in your life?
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm going to sip my tea while he figures it out. By the way,
Okay.
shout out to Publix Diet Green Tea.
How many do you guys think I've done? You know, chat room included could throw in here.
Ooh, let's see. How many do you think?
Dude, we're not just talking Dragon Con, right? We're talking.
Nope, everything.
Ooh, I've got
I did
a
one
ballpark.
yesterday.
Yeah. I
We're
would
gonna talk about it.
guess 3 to 350.
Sounds about
somewhere
right.
there. Yeah.
I know that
300.
I actually counted them for a review one time. And I've done like over 100 in 5 years.
Yeah, because I did some before coming to Dragon Con, and then I've been hitting cons up pretty hard for the last. I mean, last year alone, I did what did I get to 34, 32?
Did a
something
lot.
like that. So yeah, it adds up pretty quickly. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I know I've done a lot. So we might have some experience. And I'm here to tell you after yesterday, and I'll tell you about yesterday in a minute. It doesn't change. It doesn't matter how many you do. There's always going to be one that makes it feel like it's your first time and not in a good way. So let's start at the very beginning, because I think some people have questions about what is a workshop versus a panel. And are they differences in what you're presenting in those two things?
And also a presentation, right? There's a difference in a presentation as well. So yeah, for me, I mean, obviously workshop is usually one person teaching you hands-on how to do something.
Now, I will tell you that I frequently do workshops with somebody else. I will often tag team a
Okay.
workshop. And usually it's just two, though. Maybe three, but two works really well. I like two because that way you've got somebody to kind of bounce off of and you're not having to hold the energy for the whole time. But there's usually some sort of, shall we say, slide deck. I
I
mean,
don't
I
like that
usually,
word.
I know you don't, but when I do a workshop, I usually have a slide deck because it is much more about teaching. It's not usually about a discussion, though
Right.
you can have
So
discussion
yeah,
parts of it, but you usually are trying to demonstrate something, show something, teach something, one of those things.
we did one of those at your school with
We have.
Reaper. It was a early on class of how to do some recording, and I pulled up my Reaper and showed them how to do the basics. And
Yeah.
so I get that. Yeah. So that's a workshop, and a lot of times, hopefully, if you're teaching it, it is something that's cost extra. I know there's a number of workshops at Dragon Con. Typically, not always, but typically, if it's a workshop, it is something you do pay extra for, even at
Yeah.
Dragon Con, and it's stuff like acting and writing and
Or Linda Gray does Tai Chi or yoga. I think
yeah,
it's Tai Chi.
yeah. No, it's Tai Chi. I was actually just looking at that on the schedule.
I want to do that every year and I never get to. She's on my
Yeah,
list of things I really want to do at Dragon Con. So that's kind of like the difference in a workshop. But we're going to talk about our panels.
and
And that's
panels
what
are
we
usually
have
a
on the digital media.
discussion. Yeah, well, panels are a lot of times are a discussion. They can be a
Yes.
live show. We do have a number of those live plays and live entertainment. That is considered a panel. And then I think most of the time when I say panel, I'm thinking of an educational discussion of some kind with audience interaction, hopefully some Q&A, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I would say that when I see like Botch is doing their show live or Hissin and Kissin is doing at Dragon Con, they're going to be on our track doing it. Watchers in the Fourth Dimension. Who else? I'm trying to think. Anyway, I know those three. And those three, whenever I like promo that, I promo it as an event and not a
Okay.
panel because it's got a structure to it. They're going to be doing their podcast, which may have some interaction to it, may have some discussion to it, but different than a panel when you sit down with people you may never have met before and have a conversation on a topic.
I have done that, and we're talking more into I've done that more than once. So we're going to talk, and when we get to prepping, I'll tell those stories. So more or less, we're talking about panels, right? In
Yes.
this case, because that is the easiest and usually the first place you start. You don't normally, unless you really have a business, you don't normally walk into a con doing workshops.
Right.
So one of the first things you need to know about panels is know your audience and what they're wanting from you. And sometimes you just need to know the general audience. So what would you call, what in your mind, Tyra, when you put together a number of panels this year for yourself, and when you put that panel together, what's your mindset of what the audience is?
So I know, ow, ow, ow. I'm sorry. I just got attacked by murder
Phil.
mittens.
Phil did it, didn't he? It was Phil.
It was my cat. So unless he's transformed into Princess Leia, which would
I
be a
would
whole
not put it
nother
past him.
discussion. But so I think about just the Dragon Con audience in general, and then I think about who comes to the digital media track, what are digital content creators looking for, and I think if I did anything specifically, like one of them is on when is good enough good enough? You don't have to be perfect. And so there, really what I'm talking to are the procrastinators and the perfectionists. So I have that in
Yeah.
mind. Ow! Oh my gosh.
This is why cats are evil. Kick it out. Give it to the Chinese food restaurant, whatever. No? Too soon?
I don't have power to kick you off of here, but if I did,
Here, I'll do
I
it for you.
would. Thank you. So who needs Charles? Let's be awesome. Just the three of us or two of us or with me. It'll be great. So anyway, I don't know what I was saying because Charles, do not speak of my cat that way again. Oh, geez, I'm bleeding.
Uh, okay, we're talking about audience, and so you don't have to know the exact audience. People at Dragon Con want to come and experience everything, right? And when I say experiencing everything, hey, this kid girl comes in and says, "Hey, friends."
Hey. Oh my gosh, I love Geek Girl. That is awesome.
So you don't have to know picture the exact audience. You just have to do
No.
something that's important to you and trust
Well,
that people will show up.
yes, if you would be a person for that audience.
Well,
So
I say you don't do something that you wouldn't be a person for that audience. And my personal, not professional, my personal opinion
Okay.
is everything I would do, I am my own audience. I want to enjoy what I'm doing, kind of thing.
Okay, so if somebody, let's say I write YA fantasy, I
Okay.
might be doing something for a young person's audience, an audience that's younger than me to talk
Hmm.
about that book. Or I could be doing something for parents, and I'm not a parent, to talk about that. So sometimes you're not exactly your audience. So on the YA fiction track, they could have a panel that's really encouraging the actual target audience of those books to be there. And if I'm an
Sure.
adult, 57 years old, I'm not in that audience.
But okay, have you been on a panel like that?
Yes.
Okay. But the information you gave could be used by you, the proverbial parent that came with that kid in that audience, right?
Yes, but I'm not a parent, is what I'm saying.
But
You may
you're a
not all-
human, and there's humans that come with other little humans that could get information from you, the human.
I think we need to
Okay, this
discuss-
is a great point. This is a great point.
I think
Whether
we
you
need to-
say you can or you say you can't, you're right. And that is something a lot of panelists do is, oh, I don't belong on this panel because I'm not fill in the blank. I'd rather wipe all that out and go, I'm here because I am.
Right, and that's great, but that doesn't always mean like I'm not a parent. So if I'm constructing a workshop or not a workshop, if I'm constructing a panel for parents, I've got to think outside of my box about what would be important to parents that I as a
would
non-parent may not know.
Drive me crazy.
I know, I'm
But
sorry.
you are a proverbial parent because you have raised generations of college kids in your classes. You have been mama hen to them. You have been mama hen to all of us at DragonCon. For crying out loud, you make sure I stay alive at DragonCon.
No, that's
You
Cos's
are a
job.
parent, whether you have children or not.
Well, right now I have a bleeding finger.
Oh, cats, man. Cats.
I know. I'm actually asking my husband to bring me a Band-Aid.
Deal with
So,
that person later.
yeah, it's been that. So anyway, what we're going to agree to disagree on is that you need to know your target audience, of which you may be a part of, exactly or not.
If you, this is this is my professional advice. If you come into any panel thinking you don't belong, it'll become evident and you'll feel uncomfortable.
Oh, well, no, that's
If
different.
But that's kind of what I'm saying here with this stuff. And if you share knowledge that, if you caveat your knowledge with, well, I'm not a parent, but it's going to fall on deaf ears. So how do you answer those things now that you've texted 911 to Shane?
Sorry,
So
I-
no,
I-
you got to get that bleeding stopped.
I got to get a
you.
Band-Aid and I need
Yeah.
a towel. So all I'm saying is that, like, I could talk to a group of men
Yeah.
about something and I'm not a man and that's my target audience. So am I going to change what I talk about from when I talk to a group of men versus a group of parents versus a group of kids? Yes. Am I able to talk to all of them? 100% yes. I've been doing this for a long time. It doesn't matter who you are. I can figure something out. But I need to understand the particulars of that audience and what their pain points are. So when I go into the writer's track, it's a different set of pain points than when I'm at the digital media track. So that's why I'm saying you got to know your audience.
There is a path.
Oh, Valencia just made a really good point, by the way.
Yeah. Valencia says, I've been an audience member for a panel I was not the target audience for, but I enjoyed it anyway. Same.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I go to ChattyCon, I am not the target audience for that con at all.
No,
but I've
can-
enjoyed the panels that I sit in on, in the room
have a-
or on the panel.
Can we have a moment of silence for Chaticon? And I'm going to take that moment of silence to talk to my husband.
I don't know if I'm supposed to stay silent. I gave it 10 seconds. So there's a path that there's a creator level that you know what you're going to bring every time.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
that's different than knowing your audience, in my opinion. But I'm a marketer.
Sure.
I'm always
yeah,
going to be a marketer
and so
first.
we're going to mean different things about your audience. I think in general, when you go to DragonCon, you're looking for people who are looking to have fun. They're looking to learn things. They're looking to engage. So it really is about the title and the description that you put in. You got to put a really on the nose title. Like what was one of yours?
Lights, camera, bitch, smile. Getting comfortable on camera.
Except you blurped it out, which is funny.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, because we want it published, so we can't. Yeah, and that alone, especially with the bleeped out part, will get attention, and they might read the description. I can tell you, I have created panels in the past. I thought, man, this is going to kill, and I made sure it's in a big room. 3 people showed up.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the 3 people who showed up, I'm thinking one specifically, and the 3 people who showed up all misunderstood what the panel was about. So obviously, I didn't communicate it clearly enough, although I read it with the guy I was hosting it with. It's just me and my friend. And he was like, yeah, I don't understand why they thought that either. But it is what it is.
That falls into the crap happens. But
Yeah.
the one thing I will say about know your audience is whether you're the moderator or just a panelist, have a sense before you walk in there what you're doing. Look at what track
Sure.
it's on. You know, do your basics.
Yeah, coming back to our fallen friend Chattacon. So Chattacon hit 50 years and they retired as a con. And so last year I was on actually an author's panel. Well, I think it was about co-creating is what that panel is. Your panel where Bob was on the one end, I was on the other. We bookended it. And we were throwing the invisible ping pong back and forth and she caught it
Yeah.
midair. Yeah, it was awesome.
They kept me on my toes.
But it was, and that was one of those I fit on because, well, I co-create, right? So there's that. It's been done. And I know that I believe that I can bring knowledge to any audience anywhere. That's not always going to be the case. And you got to know your role. You know, I will absolutely. I host one of the first panels I hosted that I did not belong on was Awesome Women of Digital Media. And that's because the moderator walked in the room, had a panic attack, and said,
no.
I can be on it. I just can't moderate. And went, I got you, no problem. And I didn't know anybody else on the table well enough to say, can you do it? So I instead of getting up at the table, I sat my butt down at the tech table. At the time, it was in the front of the room where you could see everything, whatever. And I just asked questions from there and just helped guide a little bit.
Can I say that was really smart of you? Because
Yeah.
I've organized 2 writers conferences, and there was a panel that somebody suggested that was about being a minority in writing as a publishing author, and she happens to be blind, so she put herself, but she was not a person of color, and it was really a panel about that. And she actually got some negative feedback at the end because they were like, this wasn't your space to be in charge. As the only white woman, they were all women, white woman on this
Sure.
panel about, you know, being in a minority, and you're the one asking the questions. It wasn't a good look. Now, if she had maybe sat off to the side, it might have been better. But she didn't take my advice because I told her, you need to ask one of those other ladies to moderate this.
Yeah, I remember that story. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's again
So,
goes back.
know your audience.
Know your audience. We're there.
We now we're synced up.
We're synced up. You know, when I say audience, I always mean target market. I think I should just like walk around with that on my forehead.
Yeah. When I
So-
say audience, I really mean the Lux Craving box at Taco Bell for $5.99. All right, know your venue, right? Okay, that's a tough one sometimes.
It can be, but you know, to me, like, okay, so on Monday I had to do a virtual panel, and my venue was my office. One would think I would know this, but this wasn't my office. It was on a totally different campus in a different building, all over the place. So I was lucky enough I could do a drive-by to find out about parking, check my tech, check that I could get in at, oh
Right.
my gosh,
You could not get
early
in.
things. Yeah, I could not. It's a good thing I went because
Yeah.
my key card had not been keyed and I would not have been able to get in, and I would have been at the police station going, hi,
Yep.
nice to see you.
Yep.
So to me, one of the things is if you can know what the rooms look like, know if you're going to something, if you're cutting it close, how are you parking? I know that seems silly, but it's very important.
Now, I want to make a caveat for this. If you can, applies to things that are outside of cons, because there's no reason at a con that you can't.
Right.
I will show up every single time. Doesn't matter how many times I've done it. Dragon Con, I do it. Atlanta Comic Con, I do it. I'll show up basically opening whenever I can get in knowing that I don't have things for a couple of hours to walk the floor, to make sure I know what changes have been made to the rooms, make sure I'm familiar with everything, peek into the room I'm supposed to be in. I'll walk to every room I'm supposed to be in and make sure, okay, cool, they got sound over there, they got a screen if I need it, they get this. And it gives you that sense of belonging, because now you've taken away the unknown. So I think it's very important to go to a panel in that room. Even if that's all you can do, go to a panel in that room before your panel is supposed to be there.
I agree. And if you can, on the track, like, see what the track is like.
Yeah. DragonCon's its own beast, right? So I doubt at this point I'll ever get invited to be on another track. Just 'cause everybody thinks I'm so busy, and like, I'll come play. But
You had somebody that invited you. It just didn't work out.
probably, I don't remember. We'll have to talk off here. I mean, I'm running.
He doesn't remember.
Fumes
I
here.
remember.
I don't remember.
I remember. So it's all good. It only matters if I remember. So
That's
know
cool.
your venue, know your audience, know your event. We kind of talked about this in terms of what is the focus for Dragon Con, we know, but like when we go to Stellar Fest, it's much more science fiction focused. When we go to Conjuration, it's more fantasy focused. Multiverse is all over the place. If you go to a Comic-Con, it's going to be more celebrity focused.
Yes. It's very few panels and a lot of glad handing and FaceTime.
Right. So know what you're doing. And
Yeah.
I think particularly with things when they're big is because Dragon Con's huge. You got to know where you are. And you might think you know, and you got to know your timing between them, and can you do it?
Yeah.
Because I have done things where I've had to go from the Hilton to the Westin, which is 3 blocks up and a couple of blocks over, between panels that were back to back. And I have landed in that room going, so pack some snacks and make some tracks.
And cons, at least Dragon Con, we try to make it from the programming standpoint of not so many back to back and making sure that the guests and pros and panelists get to eat. But sometimes things just, it's a lot of programming across the board. Sometimes it just happens, right? And yeah.
And know if you can get food. I mean, I know that seems silly, but let's say you're doing a number of panels. Know especially if you have dietary restrictions. See, Valencia fills me. You got to know, can you get food in that venue? Do I need to pack some snacks? We pack snacks. We pack bars and crackers, and Valencia fills me. She understands. I'm so glad you're back. But you've got to think about the necessities. So, like, I will have a drink. I will always have a beverage bottle with me when I go to panel, because inevitably I know if I'm talking, this mouth is getting dry.
Yeah, and some panels will try to have water on the table. Try is always a key word.
Try is the key word.
I want to do the most professional thing I can on the digital media track, and there's definitely times where we just don't have water to put on the table, and we'll try to go fetch it, but it happens.
No, right? And that's partly the Hilton sometimes. Sometimes the hotels are not as up on filling up our stuff as we'd like them to be.
Yeah. You talked about celebrity heavy cons. I will always get my list before the con of who I'm moderating, and I will go to their Wikipedia pages, to their web pages, pull bullet points of things that I would like to personally hear about, because they're always known. Like I just did one with Kiefer Sutherland. I just like saying that because Tyra was a little jealous. But so he's well known. He's well known. He said he loved you,
He hugged
Tyra.
you.
Yes, but he said, send this to Tyra. So, I'll give it to you.
I love you.
But everybody knows who he is, right? For the most part. The people in that room at least know exactly who he is and what questions they want to ask as fans. So I want to ask something as a human that I find interesting to kick it off, to get things rolling, fill in gaps if I need to. The second thing I do is the same as walking the rooms. I will go walk the floor and try to find them at their autograph table and not interrupt them while they're busy with fans, but try to find a gap to come and go, hey, I'm Charles McFall. I'm going to be your moderator for your panel. Just introducing myself so you know what you're walking into. And do you have anything you don't want to talk about or anything you do? And like I had the Cobra Kai team, which was the three main kids and Cove. And Cove was very busy, so I'm not going to stop him from making money to introduce myself.
Right.
I found gaps for 2 out of the 3 of the Cobra Kai kids to talk to, and they both kindly said they would let the other one, and I'm not that important. I just wanted to take away the unknown and make sure you just get that instant, hey, they took the effort to come say hi and make sure I didn't walk in blind. And it has made for great panels every single time.
Yeah, if you can reach out, like even if you don't have celebrities, and I do like what Valencia said, and Valencia, it doesn't surprise me. We also have this in common, that we love Kiefer. But even if not even celebrities, know your other panelist. If you get a chance to say hello,
Yeah.
and if it's your first time being a panelist, know your other panelists and try to go, if you know the moderator, try to go to one of their other panels so you get a feel
Yep.
of what they're going to be like.
Yep.
Because all moderators are different. Let me just tell you that. But do your homework. If you're a moderator, you better know your panelists. Like you should have an idea of who these people are. And then if you're a panelist, you need to know the other people sitting at that table, because sometimes you can throw out something that connects yourself to them or your thought to what they do. And they're going to be like, oh, they
Yeah.
know who I am. And that you just gave them a good feel.
Yes. It's always fun when you find a deep cut of something, or you heard somebody reference something in a panel and you bring it back to them. It's like you said, they feel heard. Here's the story that I've been saying all along. I will tell.
Ooh, there's a story we're going to tell? That was a joke.
We're never, ever, ever splitting up together. Okay. So first year that I came to Dragon Con, it really was, let me see what this con is, figure it out, blah, blah. And podcast track was up in Hilton 212 or 202, something like that. It's up in the second floor. And one room. That's it. So I went for the kickoff panel, as you do, recognized some people up there, made some new friends, like Mark Gunn. And
I love Mark.
Just kind of got to lay of land and was introducing myself to people and said, hey, we've interacted this way, that way, blah, blah, as you do with podcast stuff. And got really hooked. It's like, okay, I want to be on a panel next year. So the next year comes around and they open up the submission for the podcast track. And I put in like the history of podcasting or something like that, because I felt like it wasn't really being covered. It's something I wanted to dive into. And it says, like I ask of my forums, I just phrase it differently, but it says like, who's coming to Dragon Con that should be on this panel? I went, I don't know. I have no idea who's coming to Dragon Con.
Like, completely not a clue.
Right. So I put in names of people that had been there last year that I knew, like Tom Merritt, Veronica Belmont, Brian Brushwood, Brian Ibbett, all these things. Got none of them.
Of course not.
And I got to walk into a panel because I had no way to track them down because I got a schedule, right? That's it. I just got a schedule and said, hey, there's the name of my panel. Cool. Got the panel. Here's your panelists. And that's it before con. That was it. There was no Discord. There was no group. Didn't know how to hunt these people down. And I Googled some of them, and it came up with some information. But that's how I met Bobby Blackwolf. So I met Chuck Tomasi, Craig Stepp. There was somebody else on that panel that I don't think comes back anymore. I don't remember.
We have a picture of it somewhere floating around.
Yeah, we do. I think Brian Dunaway, the director, actually sat on the panel that year with us. And Tom Merritt sat in the front row as I'm saying things. I kind of joked with him a little bit. He's like, oh, no, man, I'm learning so much about podcasting. I'm like, well, there you go, Captain BuzzFeed. And it was funny because it wasn't BuzzFeed. It was something Buzz Out Loud or whatever. But yeah. But that kind of, I made a note earlier. And I added a note to our show notes, like, know yourself. I knew I could go in and talk about the history of podcasting. I knew that Chuck Tomasi had co-written Podcasting for Dummies. So there's a little there. I looked up Bobby Blackwolf, had the Bobby Blackwolf show. So I knew some little bits. Got there as early as I could, introduced myself 5 minutes before, and off we went. And it worked out because you just have to sometimes surf the chaos. And in that case, I was in charge. Now, here's the thing with DragonCon Digital Media Track.
Yeah.
If you're in the Discord, you get a lot of planning, a lot of inside information. However, every year, I try to balance it with 2 or 3 people that you, the Quotey Fingers, as the moderator, you submitted the panel, Tyra, that you submit. I'll take the 2 or 3 names you submitted with it, and it's always suggestions. Like, I think they'll
He's
be here.
nice.
Cool. But then I want to go and find attending pros or
Right.
guests to put on it as well that fit the topic. Because, one, it gets you connected with people that could open up your world to bigger, better things. And 2, it gives different perspectives. And
It's so true.
you're not going to be able to reach out to them ahead of time. So
No.
you can, though, go if you're on a panel and currently on Digital Media Track, you will see the names listed in the schedule. Now the app's dropped, and you can see it there. You can actually in the app, yeah, you can actually look in the app and look at those names on your panel and touch them if they're pros, and they'll open up their bio. So that is something else you can do to know your panelists. It does help if you bring your team. I try to do that. You brought up Stellarfest, and we're actually going to Conjuration in the fall.
And multiverse.
Yeah,
Charles
and so
is finally a guest.
I'm on the learn track, so I'm actually giving a 45-minute presentation on I don't know what, but we'll
Do
figure
you
it
know
out.
what? I found mine.
Did you?
We
Like
joked about the fact that neither one of us could figure out what we submitted because
I
we
know
couldn't
what
find-
I basically did a Q&A on podcasting and how to get started, but I wrote it well. I don't remember what I wrote, so I'm going to go teach podcasting. But yeah, so I know as I go, my team, right? You're going to be there. Bob's going to be there. So I pitch a Be Awesome Together panel where me and Bob get to take questions for creators, how to be a better creator in writing, in digital media, in music, and whatever you're creating, we can help you. Because I know that you're going to be there. If you're not going to be there, I'm going to throw out my game show, right? Because I don't need panelists for that necessarily. So that's another thing is if you can bring your team of creators, that's helpful.
Yes. Yeah, because I this is actually a call out to me. We don't know this, but I just started the DragonCon app, and the way I know what I do is I actually go into speakers and I pull myself up because sometimes that's what you got to do. And how do I spell my last name? There I am. And so I'm on a couple of tracks and moderating some panels that I'm not usually doing things like that. So like I'm doing a panel called Bring the Heat, Writing Spicy. And I'm the moderator. Okay.
But you're a great moderator. See, that thing, know yourself. You know how to ask the questions to get the people talking.
And so, but I can look on here and look at these writers. I can find out what kind of, what genres they write in. I can look at what level of heat, because that's always a question within there, so that I'm ready to go when I walk into this and know what I'm doing. There's another one that I'm moderating that I didn't know I was moderating. So then I'm going to be moderating it. So I'm going to walk in there. This one I don't have to know. This is on the film track. I'm on the film track this year. I'm on the writer's track. So it's a whole different group of people. I'm so excited. I haven't been to the film track in a couple of years.
And you just illustrated our next point, which is know your message. As a moderator or a panelist, know what the goal is of what you're walking into so that you can try to meet that goal.
Yeah. Particularly for each panel, like my goal in the writers panels are different than my goals when I'm in digital media. I'm still going to be talking about Be Awesome Together because I think we're awesome and everybody needs to know about us. But for each panel, I have a different goal. Sometimes it's to survive it.
Sure.
You know,
that's fair.
Sometimes that's a fair goal, especially if it's your first time. I remember the first time that I did a big panel and it had a celebrity on it that you had put on there from not Babylon 5.
Oh, yeah. Farscape.
Ooh, Farscape. That one of my husband's friends loved and was very disappointed he did not know. And she was delightful.
Yeah.
She was just delightful.
I said something to offend her. I don't remember what. It wasn't a joke or anything. I think I misstated something about the show, and it was towards the end of the con, right? So she's tired. she held it together, but I was like, immediately, I apologize. I did not intend to offend. I could see that I hit some kind of button. I'm going to go sit down now. And she's like, okay. Yeah. I just backed off and went and sat down. I was like,
well, and that works. Sometimes
Gigi
you just have to punt. Yeah, Gigi. And she's delightful. Yeah. Sometimes you have to punt.
Yeah. Things can go wrong. But yeah, okay. I don't remember the name of the panel, but it was at one of the other cons we go to. And when they're cozy cons, Resticon, what do you call it? Decepticon?
Relaxicon.
That's it. No, I could not remember that one. Relaxicon. So I like CozyCon. I think it feels a little better.
I think CozyCon is good. I like that.
You know,
I'll take
once
CozyCon.
I figured out this con was basically okay, I can experiment more, get into places that are unfamiliar with, and it will be okay. And so I was on a panel like that, and the guy to the left of me wrote fan fiction about stuff, and that's why he was there. I knew enough. Again, I can be the heel in any room, so I knew enough to take something somebody'd say and kind of poke at it a little bit just to be funny and get them talking. No, I didn't do anything. And then the guy on my right was also an author, and it was about sci-fi tropes or something, right? So I had a few little notes. But I'm like, if I run out of my notes, I could just pick on everybody else and be fine. In a fun way, not a mean way. The guy on my right was pre-warmed up with, I never met either one of them. First time I met any of them, right? The guy on my right was talking to the audience, and they were just kind of going off negatively about Dragon Con. And just this and that. And like, I know it's no good to correct anybody. I know it's no good to jump into an argument or anything like that or start an argument. But I was definitely, when we did our panel inductions, I'm like, I'm Charles McFall. I got a podcasting. The digital media director for Dragon Con, spokesperson for Dragon Con. You know, I was going to lay that on. And the guy on my left loved Dragon Con. And in the purest of Mr. Rogers' souls, he laid that guy out with like, no, man, they're so kind and they're so good. And this person and that person and this. And then and you couldn't argue with it because it was just Mr. Rogers, even though he's putting the guy in his place, he's just doing it in this kind. I was like, see, if you just sit back and let it ride, you don't have to be the butt face that I was ready to be a little bit.
No, sometimes you just let Tinkerbell take over.
Yeah. So those are some of the crazinesses. Where are my notes here?
I know. I was just looking at our notes. And
hey, when it goes off the rails, we just showed you that all night.
I know. Okay, so some things that you should. We actually did never put this on here. So if you're going to moderate, have some questions. It's important.
That's not later. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, do a little bit of research. Is it not?
Do some research. Research will get you through everything. And yeah, somehow you and I know to do this so well. We forgot to put it.
I put bullet points are best. That's really about my. So no, you're right. I did shorthand it for what we know.
We both did. This is we are in this. We are awesomely not together today. I mean, but do some research, not only on the panelists, do some research on your topic. I'm going to be honest. I have been on panels where I probably should not have been there.
Okay, we've got a question.
Oh, we have a question. I love questions. By the way,
I
also want to say, I also love Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Relax, don't do it. Anyway, what's the question?
So I think you should, in person, my style is in any panel, I will take a Q&A at any point. Sometimes panels are built to do, let's say you have 45 minutes, they're built for 30 minutes of here's talking, here's information, and then 15 minutes of question. But however you do it, you always want that audience personally, I always want that audience participation because now everybody feels connected. Even if they don't get up and ask a question, they relate to the person who did. It's a connection. And so here's one from the audience. This geek girl says, this is great info. You mentioned having a goal. Do you prepare questions for your guest specifically or to answer potential questions the attendees might have? My answer is short, oddly enough. I'll give you this. I don't. I do bullet points of things I want to hit, and I keep a notebook, which we'll talk about later. About always have something ready. And so, I do not have specifics on the panels I go into. I just have some. If it's a moderation thing, I have bullet points I want to guide in. But I like conversations. I'm a good starter and runner of conversations, so that's why my mine is not that prepared. What about
So
you?
we are completely different. Usually, though not this year, I usually have a Google Doc that I share with other panelists if I can that has potential topics or questions. So I do it kind of bullet point style. I'll have certain areas I want us to cover. Sometimes I might have specific questions. And if I know, like, if I know prehand, a panelist is hard to get to talk. Like, we have somebody who's been on a lot of panels on our track, and I know he's sometimes hesitant to say something or to start or to be the first one to answer. I might throw him a question that I know he's going to get that's going to make him feel good and going to pump him up so that he'll be more confident in answering the next question. So sometimes
I
I
have
do
a
do
little
that.
more of an aggressive move. I don't mean it that way, but I mean Tyra is very much a best version of cheerleader you get. I'm more of the hey, look at you, you didn't brag on yourself guy. And I will say, but I can't think. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of something specific with them, but like, but didn't you just do X, Y, Z, or didn't you something I know about them that's cool that they're not saying, to kind of go, oh yeah,
100%.
I did, yeah, thank you, you're right, I appreciate you, but it always makes them feel good. The other part of that, as a moderator, or even as a guest panelist, pay attention to who's not answering.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So, and the answer to the rest of the Geek Girls question, yes, we both do questions from the audience. And I think most
Oh yeah,
panels
absolutely, all the time.
should. Some will want them at the end. Some, like us, don't care. We'll take them anytime.
But I don't prep any potential answers to questions. Well, okay, I guess 20 years digital media,
Yeah, we
hundreds
know.
of panels. I know that the topic is the prep for me. So if we're doing Be Awesome together, it is very much a creators community. So that's as much prep as I need to go, okay, we're going to answer this way. I can expect these kind of questions. I don't personally sit on the Shark Tank one because I
I've
don't
done
want to
that.
have to think about the business part of things in the middle of the con. I'm really always, my mind's always off on other things. So
I get
I'm
it.
not being invited. I can invite it myself, I'm sure, but I specifically don't do that one because I don't want to have to go, okay, what's your idea? Let me think about it. Let me figure some things out and give you real advice.
I did that one last year, and I really love it. But I spend my world inside of business, so
Yeah,
that's
well, there you
more
go.
in
Yeah.
my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I do think that we talked about one of the things that you can also do on a panel when you're doing questions is start with the least heard voice. So I learned this actually from a multiverse moderator training. To if you see people that are you have a bunch of people that are getting ready to ask questions in your audience, choose one to start with that may be from a population that is least representative or least heard. Same thing on your panelists that you're with. Start with the person who's least heard and go from there. Everybody's going to get a chance to talk. Everybody's going to get a chance to answer a question. So if you start that way, it kind of sets a mood for the room that, hey, it's okay if I ask a question and I talk.
Yeah. I know it's the easiest thing to do. It's a very hard thing to go out of order. But it gets so,
Yes.
okay, we're going to start in. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, next question. Boom, 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 boom. Next question. It's hard. But it just drives my brain crazy. So my brain takes, for me, it's easy to go, let's throw some chaos. Hey, we're going to start right here. Phil, you're in the middle. Phil, tell me about that story. I want to hear from you. And then go to the end. Tyra, what do you think? And I definitely encourage my panelists to jump in when they
Right.
see fit. Or if I've definitely seen somebody who kind of wanted to jump in and wasn't quite heard.
Oh,
'Cause,
I've done that.
yeah, this example is no negatives on people were ignoring or anything like that. They just did not catch the signs that this person's trying to jump in. So the second I could have went, hey, I believe Chandra, I think, or at least who I'm picturing next to me last year at the kickoff panel. I was like, Chandra, what were you saying about that? And off she went.
Well, and it's hard because
Yeah,
oftentimes for a panel, you're in a straight line.
exactly.
And it's hard,
Exactly.
even if you're the moderator, you're usually at one end and you can't see everybody. So that's the other thing. You can have a quick moment with your panelist beforehand if you're the moderator and say, hey, don't be afraid to jump in. Don't be afraid to do this. Or, hey, we're going to do it in this fashion. Set the ground rules, whatever they are, or the lack of ground rules in Charles's spot. And if you're
Yeah.
a panelist, you can do the same thing Charles did. If you know that like Sally next to you really wanted to say something, but the moderator didn't see it, you can always, because I'm not afraid to talk. And I'll go, hey, I think Sally. And just exactly what Charles did. You can do that as a panelist or as a moderator.
And within reason, there's nothing that says you can't move the furniture. And I'll do it at other cons, but in the digital media track, we design it to where the tables are a V, inverted V, so that it's a slight angle, but everybody can kind of see everybody. It makes it a little bit easier to catch the people talking and make eye contact, because I hate having to lean way over, because I put myself at the end of the table almost always everywhere I go. So does Bob, right? So we put Tyra in the middle of that last time. But
I know. I'm like, you people took my ends.
But having to lean around people sucks a little bit. So that's why I try the inverted V. But I will go pull, for any panel I do, I'll go rearrange the furniture a little bit, but I will always put it back, and that is key.
And it's hard if there's microphones. Like, you cannot, after our furniture is arranged, there's no rearranging it. Because
I know microphones too. So, but you're right. There's levels of difficulty. No. Man, I'm the rock got a podcast. Who's going to stop me?
Security.
I probably know them too. I'll sign them some autographs.
If not, I probably do.
Yeah. Now, this is an interesting one.
What's our interesting one?
Handling a panelist that won't shut up.
Oh, geez. I still suck at this. And you know why I suck at it? Because I'm nice and I'm a Southerner and I've been told not to interrupt people.
It's tough. Yeah.
It is so hard to figure out how do you cut, especially if they don't take a breath. Charles, when they don't take a breath and they're like a wagon train, just speeding. What do you do? Because I still need coaching on this.
Okay. DragonCon's my home. And
that's different.
Well, I know. So there's going to be two different stories for it.
Okay.
I'm very comfortable at DragonCon. People now know me. The con knows me. I'm comfortable. I know where boundaries are and where not to cross things. So I will, especially carrying the director title and feeling that responsibility of, no, my job is to make sure anything and everything is good for the audience. That's what everything's the show. Everything is the show. So put your egos aside. I will jump on something like, hey man, you sucking up all there in the room. You want to breathe for a second? And try to make it a little pointed fun. It depends on the person, but it will be. But also, big guy is hard to talk back to me. But also done a million of these. Also, director. Also, you're being an asshole, and I'm nicely pointing it out. Just kind of messing with you a little bit to say breathe for a second, because the other way to do it is to just they have to breathe at some point and just jump right in on top of them.
Yeah, no, you just have to.
And I'll use the phrase to cut you off, and I'll just jump in.
Not to interrupt, but.
Yeah, but I'll say to interrupt or to cut you.
I know. Meanwhile, I'm over here still trying to be nicey nice. Because sometimes, like, we know I'm neurodivergent. We know lots of neurodivergent people. Sometimes you just get on something and you forget that you got to get off of it, and that it's just that you've gotten lost in that time loop. Because I did that in class the other day. Oh, it was bad.
You can practice. We're trying to phrase this to where Tyra's not going to be like, Charles.
But that's always your goal.
You can practice some of the positive aspects of autism, which is they just speak their mind and say, hey, there's other people who'd like to talk too. I'd like to talk too. Nice tone, kind of down, but like watching Love on the Spectrum, those people who have the autism there will just the ones that we see on the show, they speak their minds, and they do it politely, do it plainly, but they don't hesitate like we do. I think that's a problem, and those of us that have the hesitation is you don't have to be mean. It's not mean to say, hey, there's 5 other people here, and the audience needs to be included. It's not easy, but it can be just, hey, can we let other people speak as well? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, that's, you have to, and for me, it's just because of who I am. I am Tinkerbell, even though Tinkerbell is rather sassy, and she would probably just whack you with her little wand and say, hey.
Yeah.
Here's some pixie dust. Move on now. And I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. It's something that I have all the time. Yeah. So
What is your story from the panel you did recently? Where does that fit in?
so that kind of goes in the off the rails.
Okay.
So in some situations, panels are a little bit more structured than what we have at DragonCon. So my other life is academia. Okay, I'm a professor. I do academic panels, and with academic panels, they're usually a little bit more structured, meaning that there are questions put together before you go. It isn't, and like the first I did one on AI, and I drove the guy crazy because I was like, "Don't worry about it. It's fine. I've got you. I've got your back." They wanted to know every single thing that was going to be asked. Okay, and I'm like, that's not how this works. You were having a conversation, but I gave them questions for that one, and then we went and I did what I needed to do. This one was different, but go ahead.
So that point, you as a moderator, I'd rather die on the hill that I'm trying to put on the best show for the audience than to sit back and let a train wreck happen. So I'd rather have people quit my panel because I said what you just said, Tyra. Not live, but beforehand.
Yeah.
What you said, no, I got you. You got to trust me on this. I've got you. Well, that's not good enough. At some point, if things work, go down that path, you have to go, well, then you can't be on the panel.
Well, okay, so academia is very different. So, like, I can't say things like you can't be on the panel. I've been asked to moderate. But I can say, hey, okay, here's the questions, but I need you to trust me. I'm not going to make, and I think they were worried about looking bad. And I was like, you will not look bad. I will have your back. It will be fine. I've done this hundreds of times. And I told them that. I said, I have moderated over 50 panels in my life. I know what I'm doing. I got your back. But I still had to provide them with questions, which kind of drove me a little crazy, but okay, fine. Monday, I did a panel also for an academic conference. I knew up front they wanted questions, so I came up with a list of questions. The late gentleman who was putting it together kind of put them in order for me. Really did a great job of doing that, by the way. I really appreciated that. And he gave the questions because a lot of times academics do not like to be surprised, and they wanted to have answers and examples ready for those questions. And so he gave them the questions. Well, I did not know, nor did I anticipate, that they would put together presentations. So I knew they were going to introduce themselves. They came with slide decks, Charles. 15 minutes.
I hate that word.
15. I don't mind a slide deck. I can make you an awesome slide deck, and there are times and places for them. And I'm okay with it. Like if they had like stuff and information about themselves on the slide deck, because it's easy for people to grab and write that down or scan a QR code. But they were 15-minute presentations, and one of them took my questions and answered them in his presentation. He also said my questions were really great. Thanks, bud. So this is an hour and 15 minutes. Each of them takes 15 minutes with their lovely slide decks. I get to the end. I have 30 minutes left and no questions. And this is a topic where I needed to come prepared. It wasn't it's not a digital media thing. It was about innovations in education and generative AI and stuff that you need to do some research on. You need to be prepared. Well, they took all my preparedness. And so then I winged it for 30 minutes. Thankfully, the digital media track has prepared me for this moment. But I was just like, you weren't supposed to do that. You weren't supposed to answer the Q&A questions in your presentation. That was the Q&A questions. And so then right on the spot, I'm taking notes. Charles talked about that he has a notebook, okay? And he scribbles things, and I scribbled things like crazy while they were talking, because as soon as that first one started, I went, this is not going how I think it's going to go. And I started making notes.
We learned a lesson there. I've learned some communication from watching what others do. And this is one that now, if I were forced into giving questions ahead of time, it'd be in big, bold, red, all caps letters. Do not answer these before I ask them at the panel. You can be prepared, because without that warning, I just need to, I hate good intentions, because I do. I'm not going to go off on that rant, but
and it's always like
homie. Oh, they are great questions. Really?
I thought that was exactly. My face did not say it, but inside I was like, yeah, and it would have been great if I got to ask it of everybody.
God, I wish I'd been there in the audience just so I could step out. I was like, so I got a question. Can we go back to those awesome questions that you had? Because I'd like to hear what everybody else has to say, except that one doofus.
I was like, oh. So I just, I came up with things on the fly. I went back, I referenced stuff that they had talked about, but I was in a situation where a lot of times with academic conferences, you're not the one putting it together. You're the one that's been asked to moderate, and it's considered an honor to be asked to moderate, actually. And it's an honor to be a panelist as well. So it's not, I didn't have any control. The only control I had was
Okay, fluent. So be like water. You can flow like a river.
Yeah, so
you can fill a teapot, and you float. Also, something else we learned for Tyra is make a list of 10 questions. Only give them 5.
Oh, that's a
always
good
have
one.
your backups.
Yeah, no, that would have been good. Didn't do that.
I know I wouldn't have thought of it myself.
No, that was a good one.
But our friend Jenna Garrett has inspired me on that because she moderated the first. I forget what they call the panel. It wasn't it's now grown into a couple of different panels, but it had to do with being neurodivergent and being a creator. Right. And I think it also somewhat because they wanted it to. I think it also included LGBTQIA plus. I'm sorry, I think I forgot a letter in there. I'm not trying to.
No, you did good. You did good.
And what she did was, she prepared like 10 questions because this is her first real moderation, and she is important to her. And she used maybe 2 because she knew the rule of use the question but follow the conversation. And she was so relieved after and telling me the stories. Like, man, but that was great. You had more than you needed.
Yes, and
that's
trust me.
You don't always know that you're not gonna, so you might as well have a lot.
No, because let me tell you, you don't want to be me Monday looking at that clock going, I got it, 15 more minutes. Somebody, and I'm in the chat going, does anybody in the audience have a question? Save my ass, please.
But that's your notebook, right? Oh, and I do recommend, maybe a scribe tab where it's obviously you're writing it because I know you love your scribe.
I do love my scribe.
But pencil of some kind and paper or tablet of some kind, because type on your phone, even if you're just taking notes, it looks like you're messing around and not paying attention to it.
I do use paper. But from the audience, like, why weren't you in my panel on yesterday? Kevin has a question for us.
What is the best way to handle an audience member who is trying to monopolize Q&A?
That's a good one. If they're the only one asking questions, it's even a harder one.
First, just always communicate, right? Ask people to step up. Before you start any panel, you should say the basic generic rules. Please, 1 question per person. No hugs, no photos. Even as a professional, it'd be kind of funny. No hugs with these guys, whatever, if it fit. But you say 1 question per person. If you have another one, get back in line. If it's a digital line, go ahead and load them up. We'll pick them because that's what DragonCon does now for the big panels. Is I don't believe people get in line anymore. I might be mistaken, but they do a lot of. There's a Discord for every room or something.
Yes.
They get people to send the questions to the moderator, at least partially. And then, I don't know, Tyra, it's tough after that, depending on the situation.
Yeah. And especially if somebody, like, I have a hard time sometimes watching celebrity Q&As because I cringe too much at questions that are asked. Mm-hmm. Like, I just get embarrassed for the person asking it, and then I feel bad for the person on stage. So I have trouble with that, and sometimes I have that same kind of gut clenching feeling when somebody's asking a question in a panel, and the answer is sometimes you just have to be rude. And I actually am a little bit better with that when it's somebody's doing the Q&A because they're our guest, but they're not like my guest on the panel that I'm supposed to be taking care of, that I'm asking to do something. So you can say, try to cut them off, try to change the subject, say, let's give somebody else a chance. The problem is when nobody else wants a chance, then you're going to have to say, I think we need to move on to this topic, or we need to move on from that. But it's a hard time.
As a moderator, your job is to be the bad guy between the audience and the celebrities. Is usually when you're the bad guy. When it gets a little, for me, it's a lower importance of bad guy when you're on a panel.
Right.
But you still, as a moderator, it's your job to run that show. So you might have to say, hey, you can take your own style, right? I'm similar. Actually, I'm very similar to Tyra on the celebrity panels of going, thank you for that question. As soon as they finish their question, before the celebrity answer, I go, thank you for that question, as in like, here's a period. And then I'll turn, because sometimes I have to translate, not languages, but sometimes it's hard to hear. And, but there, okay, Joe and I, wise and nerdy, where fatherhood meets fandom. Nothing about that says bring a scientific paper and present it to us.
What?
I kid you not. The first year at DragonCon, where we did Wise and Nerdy, and it was not quite what it is today, but it was close. And Kurt actually sat on the panel with us to do the intro voice and stuff and do some of the bits. And this guy gets up, because we're like, what's your favorite thing about this or that? He's like, well, I wrote this paper as an older gentleman. And I did this thing. Oh, cool. You did this thing. And he started reading the paper. And like that. And when he took a breath and went, man, that is awesome. We are so proud that you got to do that. We're going to move on to the next section. And and Kurt was the button. So I tapped him, and he's like, he did his Kurt thing, like one of our catchphrases for the show. He said it, and we rolled the dice. Roll the dice, or whatever he said. And because oh my God, it was dragging down.
Right, and that does happen sometimes with Q&A. I always get like the pit of my stomach, and this happened with it's hard on Shark Tank. Shark Tank can be difficult because they're describing their thing. They're going to take a certain amount of time, but you have to get them to move on at some point, and that can be tricky. So sometimes you say, like with the paper, you might have said, I would love to hear more about that after the show. So
yeah, I think we might have done it because I made Joe talk to him and he got trapped. But
that's great. And by the way, I just wanted to say I was not winking at Charles earlier.
Sure.
My husband came into the room.
Sure. We saw no shadows, no movement.
He's on the other side over there.
Sure. All right. So, oh, I thought somebody popped something up there.
He still makes me happy.
But you said Shark Tank. So I happened to come in on the side of that panel last year. We were sitting on the side of the room, and Steven, who was moderating, could see me, and there was a guy who kept wanting to go on.
Oh, yeah.
And Steven kind of looked at me, and I just did the wrap it up symbol. And Steven is the nicest person.
Oh my gosh, he's even nicer than I am.
Yeah. At DBZ, we'll worry about that. I got you. We'll talk about that in the email. We'll figure it out.
Don't worry about it.
DB, we got you. I got your email. We're good. We appreciate you planning ahead, but we got you, man. We'll figure it out if we need to. It's fine. But yeah, and Steven said something along the lines of, man, thank you. We want to give some other people some opportunities. And he wrapped it up. So just find the way. And that's the thing. I was his backup. So if that guy didn't leave, then my job. So it's also the room text job. So that's the fallback, right? You got the moderator on the panel. Yeah. Then at least at DragonCon, you've got the people in the room that are also there. Their job as volunteers is to make sure the panel doesn't go sideways. Right. And when I'm in the room, everybody just looks at me, and that's fine. I have director on my badge. I have to be the bad guy sometimes. Never had to be the bad guy, but I was prepared to go. Walk up, come here, let me talk to you for a second, and just do the whole Roadhouse thing and walk him away for a minute, and just sit him down. But he didn't need to, and that's the thing. Most people who are met with resistance will stop.
Yeah, that's true.
Except
for if they're, not going to, in which case you're going to need that person. Like, you just got to know. And like, that was one of the great things about Scott Moore. You knew that if somebody needed to be taken out, Scott was there.
He was itching for it. It's like, give me a reason. He wasn't.
Come on, but bring it on. Bring it on.
At the Kiefer Sutherland panel with
really, Charles?
No, you'll like this because it threw me off when things go sideways, when panels go sideways. I did security. Charles is security. No, Scott pops in. You rang. Good deal.
Groove is for Life is in the house.
So I already had a line. And the Atlanta Comic Con actually did great. They had a space off to the side for people to line up. They had some chairs set up front, saved for people who were going to right next to the microphone. So they had a volunteer on one side of the aisle next to the microphone to adjust it. Then 2 seats for the question askers. So we go, okay, next question. They'd step up, and then the person was supposed to move down, and somebody was supposed to move over. It was a pretty decent flow. So I had the first question because it was like, let's kick this off, let's get it warmed up, and I asked them. The thing Bob asked me about what puns have people done with your names, and they had a lot of fun with that. But then the first audience question was, let's see, it was like, Kiefer, you're on my wife's hall pass, and she's sitting over there, and I just blanked. I'm so tired.
Hall pass. That's all I got.
Yeah, and then he told the other guest, and you're on mine or whatever, and everybody's. I was like. I didn't know what to do, so I looked at them. I was like, "I can bounce them. I mean, what do you need?" And that humor broke up because it was like they were going, "We don't know what to do either." But just exactly like I said, just very playfully, high energy. I can bounce them, and then they answered, and it was fine.
Can I tell you that when somebody recently said hall pass to me, and I didn't know what it was.
Oh no, she left. Her internet just died or something. I swear to God, I didn't touch it. It wasn't me. We're going to keep rolling. And that's fair. Hall passes are a dumb thing. Okay. Conversation. We talked about making room for voices. I believe in using bullet points and not over preparing. So, you have some moments to where you could twist something into the conversation that's already happening. And do not be too prepared. Now, we did talk about earlier. Here she is. Whew.
I don't know what happened.
I don't either. But I was bringing this to kind of the end here. Not finishing it, but getting to our last points of not being over-prepared. We talked about definitely having more than you need. But, again, know your audience. Okay, Tyra's educational thing, slide decks are the norm. Dragon Con, they are not the norm.
We do not want slide decks.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing one of the workshops, in which case have slide decks. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah. I've definitely known people who wanted to do planning sessions with their panelists at a time and try to work out all the conversations. And I'm like, ugh.
Just show up. Sometimes you got to be unprepared. Just be there. It's not going to go the way you think. It's sort of like weddings. Like I tell, because I do officiate at some weddings, and I just tell my couple, only thing that matters is that I'm there and you're there. Everybody else is icing. Even your parents are icing. We are the 3 people that have to get this done. Outside of that, we are good to go. So if something goes sideways, who cares? Our priest is there. We're here. We're going to get married today. So if it's a panel, it's going to go sideways.
Oh no!
Do you have a slide?
Says, "Whoops, we have a slide deck." But he's doing more workshopy kind of.
No, yeah, I bet that's the one on audio, which makes a little bit of sense. Anytime you have information like where you need people to be able to see it, copy it down, click a QR code, or it's complicated. Like if I was going to explain SEO, and have an entire panel on it, I might have a couple of slides.
Sure.
So which panel is it that you have a slide deck for, so we know what to show up for? I
think he's doing 3 audio ones and his anime music. So I'm going to guess it's not the anime music one. This geek girl says,
that's okay.
"Oh dear, I may be overprepared and thought about a presentation for the attendees and a QR code."
It's okay.
It's okay. QR codes are great. Here's the number one thing for any presentation. Make sure you're not reading off your slides. The slides are there to give something for the crowd to take a picture of to remember later or write a note down like, oh, that's a good resource, or I need to remember that trick or tip, right? Because hearing it, they might not go, oh, I need to write that down, but seeing that they might. We're not saying don't make slide decks. We're saying only make slide decks
when they make
if you
sense.
can't start a forest fire instead.
You can't start a forest fire?
Well, only you can prevent forest fires, so you can prevent slide decks. Come on.
They're okay. There's a time and a place for a slide deck, and if you're doing something that's specifically technically complicated, or let's say you wanted to have QR codes or like even with the Shark Tank, it would be reasonable to have a slide that had QR codes for the guests so you could like, hey, if I wanted to do more with them, you could do. And for the anime show, it makes sense.
He's got videos for the anime show.
You see, it makes sense.
So QR codes are perfectly fine, but the last thing I think we need to hit, besides surf the chaos, because
I do
everything
this every week.
is humans, right? There will be some chaos. One of my favorite chaos moments was I had a network called Giant Size Team Up, and one of my show's hosts was there, and he walked in the room, and the panel was about content creators who talk about fandoms, right? And he walked in and was like, "Hey, we had somebody drop off. I need you to take that seat up there." And he's like, "Oh man, I don't belong." I was like, "Trust me." And I played. We did it tongue in cheek, but I played the. I was like, "I'm your boss. Go sit down," because I know what I'm talking about. And he did begrudgingly. But then halfway through, there's a question that only he could answer.
Aw.
Because his specific show was about Marvel or about DC TV shows, which take breaks. So the question was, what do you do when your fandom takes a break? Everybody else in that panel didn't quite have the fandom that took breaks, and he did. And afterwards, like, oh my God, that was so great. So surf the chaos. That was a chaotic moment for him, and he rode with it, and it worked.
And don't be afraid to, like, if somebody puts you on a panel, there's a reason for it. And trust that you have, typically there's a reason. Trust that you're going to have something to add. And even if it's not like a topic that you know a lot about, you are probably still going to have something to add to it, even if it's slightly out of your norm. So, like the first panel I ever did for the digital media track, I was like, oh my God, I don't know anything about this. It ended up I did, by the way.
What, SEO?
Yes. I knew my shit. I just didn't want to. I didn't believe I did. But then compared to, and a lot of times, like who I was comparing myself to was somebody who in the industry is considered a god. Like if you're the god of podcasting, this was the god of SEO, where people were like, bow down. You're amazing. He's my buddy. And I was comparing myself to him instead of comparing myself to John Smith, who I absolutely knew more than, who I knew more than. It was great.
Oh,
so,
here you go, everybody. Here you go.
Hi, by the way, hi, Earth Station Boo.
Yeah, she's back. The biggest thing to know is when you're on the chair side of the table, the panelist side of the table, you are automatically seen by the audience as knowing more than them. And because you're willing to talk about it, right? You've at least taken that step to be willing to sit in that chair. You are qualified to share information with them of whatever form and factor that might be. Yeah. And then the second thing is I can do everything except one thing. I can make a panel. I can make all the topics. I can make you look great on that panel. I cannot believe in you for yourself.
That's true.
You have to do that yourself. And if you can't, trust that people, I mean, I can tell you this much. Nobody is on any panel in digital media by accident.
Right.
At all. 100%. Everybody is there for a reason. And it's taken some time to get there. I had to learn people. I had to know people. I had to build, or not build. I had to open doors and allow for people like Tyra and other stations, but other people. I'm tired, people. I almost said Shane. Shane doesn't do any panels for me,
but he would. He's done a panel with Bob.
Oh, Bob talked about it on Wise and Nerdy. It was so good. He bragged about it. But it made a way for other creators to come in and bring in the people they know, because at the end of the day, you don't know everybody. Yeah. And that kind of brings us to our last point. How do you prepare to be unprepared?
Know your stuff and have faith in yourself. And there's one thing I want to say too is consider your words. So like the Geek Girl, what I want to say to you is if you have a slide deck and it's awesome, don't listen to a darn thing we said. Go with that. If that's what makes you and your panelists comfortable, go with that. Make sure that you're not killing somebody's joy. And so like particularly like on the Shark Tank panel, you got to be mindful of what you say. So don't kill people's joy if you can. Don't yuck somebody's yum. And be kind. I think be kind.
Oh, man, being kind. Being kind to yourself and others. Because when somebody starts getting on you about something, being kind to yourself says, no, I'm good. I can talk about this and not worry about them. We had a great moment at the track for that, where it came down to two different mindsets of how Patreon should work. And one guy sat there and said, you should not have anything less than $5 per episode. Per episode was a big deal on Patreon. Then now they've shifted more to month. But you should not have anything less than $5. And the other guy's like, no, everything I have is $1, like $1. And you get, it was Run Jump Stomp, Bill Fairchild, who was $1. And it was Trivial Warfare, Jonathan Oakes, who was the 5 and higher guy. And when I say vehemently, like their core beliefs disagreed on how you should do it, but they were polite to each other, a little aggressive, a little heated, but polite. And it made for a great panel. And afterwards, because other people were like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody said I can't. And like, oh, everybody's taking sides. And that's the thing. Somebody in the audience believed in the $1 thing resonated with me. Somebody in the audience said the $20 per episode resonated with me. That's the whole point of it.
Right.
So that kindness you talked about, believing in yourself, neither one of them were, they were cool afterwards. They didn't get mad at each other. They just had different philosophies on how to create. And they recognize that in each other. The other thing I want to say about being prepared to be unprepared is practice. It's 10,000 hours, man. It is always doing the thing you love means you can walk in and do something that you love. There goes Tyra again. She just disappeared. So she doesn't love me anymore. It's fine. I have spent my entire life storytelling. I have spent my entire life trying to explain to people what digital media is. I have spent my entire life trying to entertain people and make people laugh. So, doing all of those hours in my life, what you see on the panels, you can see in my house. It might be a little different, but ask my kids when I start lecturing. They're sitting for an hour-long panel discussion without Q&A on why this is how things, but you do you. Like Earth Station Boo is very much about horror. So I have no doubt that at some point, if she's putting on a panel, was put on a panel that was about social media or your SEO, she could probably work what she knows into it, right? She might not be an SEO. Okay.
No, I know why she can.
Well, I don't know why she can. I'm just saying anybody. This is my belief in them. Is I don't know if she's an expert. I'm just saying she might pick a subject she knows nothing about. Okay. Tyra, I can put you on a panel about Demon Slayer, and you will find a way with the panel. I mean, nobody should be put on a panel they just don't fit on. But if I put you on that panel, you would go, okay, I'm supposed to be here for you would work some Taylor Swift in. You would probably do some research, seeing that what is this Demon Slayer thing, and do some high points like, and you'd start maybe picking up on why you should be there. And basically that 10,000 hours, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're writing a book and you've been writing it for a while, you may actually have something to share with people who are just getting started. You know? Even if you've never published. The guy on my left in that story about the person ragging on DragonCon, the Mr. Rogers to my left, he wrote fan fiction. He had he's 62, I think. He had just started writing it. He was having fun with it. He wanted to expand, and he was there to talk about that.
And that's important. I mean, everybody has a story. So, like, if I was on a Demon Slayer thing, I'd be talking about, like, okay, could you explain that to me like I'm a 3-year-old?
See, there you go. And now you get other people talking.
Like I don't know anything about anime. I can do that. It's okay. I said you could.
Earth Station Boo says, I won't lie. I use ChatGPT to help me pick the best ones. Yep.
Yeah, we both have named ours. Mine is Coda, and his is, what is yours?
Chad.
Which I think is funny because I think of hanging Chads.
Yep.
And
I want to hang that Chad sometimes. It gets a little loopy.
It's not. I don't know what I keep doing to throw myself off, but I'm afraid now to touch the screen.
Don't touch the screen.
Well, the trackpad.
We've thrown a lot of cool stuff out here. What else you have?
I have that we've gone on for too long.
No, we're 1 minute out. We're good.
We're 1 minute out? Okay.
They're asking questions. If people are engaging and asking questions, I don't think we've gone too long.
Okay, I'll buy that in a cup of.
It's when they
something.
disappear for months, like Valencia. I think we're sorry pieces of crap, and we don't deserve to do shows anymore. But Valencia's here, so we're awesome. I feel better now.
It's true. We are definitely awesome because she's here, and I don't. So, what is your parting thought, Charles? We're kind of at that point.
I'm gonna take the opposite stance of everything that I've done.
Oh,
tonight.
that's
I believe
nothing
in
new
myself.
here on the
I
show?
take a story. Yes, it is. Be organized.
What?
See, I told you, smarty pants. I believe in myself because I put the work in, but I will also make sure I have something to carry into every panel so that I don't just go ramble, and look like, not fall on my face. Because my job, and that's it. I believe every time you step in front of people, you have a job. I'm a showman. I'm always on when I'm in front of people. My job is to entertain, educate, and enlighten. And if I cannot hit that because I'm not organized, I've not done my job. So I will definitely have my bullet points. I will definitely have the direction I want to go in. I will definitely talk to my panelists, and I will be organized. And then let the rest of it go.
I will say that there's different levels of organized. And
That's
you
fair.
do always do that. I mean, like if you are doing panels where you're doing celebrity moderation, you do your background. You don't just walk up there.
Yeah. I saw my Katie Sackhoff page with all my notes that we didn't use.
Shh. Just shut up. Shut up.
I
He's
get to live
being
a
mean
good
right
life.
now. Katie Sackhoff, by the way, there is a picture with her and the armor and axe wolves from The Mandalorian. I'm there.
Nice.
I still love you too, Valencia. We were really worried about you. I'm just going to put that out there one more zillionth time. So if you're going to leave us for a while, drop a note. Put a message in a bottle. Let us know.
Message in the bottle. No, Valencia, no. Don't. I mean this truly. We're having fun because we missed you. Never apologize. Life happens, right? We're just happy to see you. We're glad that you're around.
And you're okay.
All right. Next week.
Hold it.
we're
Don't
gonna
I get a parting thought?
Is it time? Didn't we just start the show? I'm lost. Why am I here? Is it bedtime yet? Yes. Part those waters with your wisdom.
Be kind. Be kind to yourself, and just surf the chaos. Sometimes you just got to ride the wave and realize that the other panelists are there too, and they will help you. Like I've told this before, that I was on a panel with a whole group of men that weren't letting me talk, and one of those men by the name of Kevin J. Anderson said, "And what do you think about this?" He wasn't the moderator. He was a panelist. He just knew that my voice wasn't being heard, and he made sure it was. So be a Kevin. And if somebody's voice is not being heard, let them be heard. And it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. The house is not on fire. Tyra hasn't prepared it all for Track and Con yet. Good times.
And you honestly never know being yourself, even if it feels negative, even if something went sideways and you had to speak it. You never know what impact that has.
Right.
And I'm not going to go off on a whole nother story, but
Good, because we don't have time.
Yeah. But be yourself. Yeah. All right. Next week.
I have a surprise for you.
All right. Go for it.
No, tell them about next week, and then I'll surprise you.
I have to look at my calendar. I forget what we said we're going to talk about next week.
I'm just going to stare at him.
You do that. I'll sing.
What is next week, Charles?
I'm working on it.
What is next week, Charles? No,
It's the Tuesday night before Dragon Con.
Right, so what are we going to talk about?
Surf the Chaos is what the note I put in here.
It's Dragon Con. But do you know what you don't know?
You just answered your own question. No, Tyra. What do I not know?
Bob Magoo is going to be joining us next week on Be Awesome Together.
Awesome.
I just found out today. He actually tried to come tonight, but his stepdaughter her school had an open house. And he's like, I should go to that. I'm like, yes, you should go to the open house and join us next week. So Bob Magoo will be joining us. I am super excited. I said his name in class today. Because he, like you, is coming to speak. And one of my students afterwards came up to me and says, yeah, I know Magoo. I met him at Southern Fried. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have one of my people in my class. This is awesome.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
So,
where can they find you, young lady?
They can find me. Where can they find me? I'm so confused. Where can they always find me? They can find me at tyraburton.com.
Look at you with the confetti effect.
And don't forget, we can all be bejeweled. I'm having fun. There's reactions.
Good.
Lasers.
All right. You can find me. I've got a surprise for you at con, hopefully.
What?
Cross our fingers.
What?
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, Charles.
And then, yeah, so next Tuesday night will be the eve of DragonCon for me. And it's
Are you going to be in a hotel?
Chaos is no, I got my hotel on Wednesday. So I'll be here in studio on Tuesday. And yeah, all right.
So that's it. Tune in next week. Don't forget to, Charles, what's all of our stuff? Because you know this better than I do.
It's Linktree/Be Awesome Together.
Right. Oh, you did it right this time.
I tried.
I'm so proud of you.
Show.
No show. No show.
Oh. Well, thank you to Earth Station Boo for the tagline here, but Surf to Chaos. You'll enjoy the ride.
And Geek Girl says we're awesome together.
Come by and see us at the Digital Media Track next week at DragonCon.
Stay hydrated and fed.